23 past the hour. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz. Well, BP's cap is keeping oil from continuing to spill into the Gulf for now. But what about the surface cleanup? We've heard of the booms and Kevin Costner's inventions. But did you know that we could be getting more help from other countries, but a old law will not allow us? For more on this, we turn to the watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. It is Thursday. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
All right, so I think this comes as news to people and some people. And there's something called the Jones Act, which relates to what I just talked about, the introduction there. Explain to us what that is.
It's a maritime act that dates back to the 30s, if I'm not mistaken, where it doesn't allow foreign ships to be working in our waterways. And what this has done is that all these foreign governments, Holland, Canada, all these places, they've got very advanced oil skimming equipment. And because they're foreign, we cannot use them.
All right, let's run through some of the stuff but before we get into the politics of this. Canada has offered 3,000 meters of containment boom, 3 sets of sweeping arms, caustic sweeping arms from the Dutch, Mexico's offer of 2 skimmers and 4,200 meters of boom, Norway's offer of 8 skimming systems. So there's all this stuff out there that we could be using, and Lord knows, by the way, if I can put in a little plug for the good old US of A, we help people all the time throughout the world when things go wrong. Why can we not accept this help? Why are we not? Can we bypass this law, the Jones Act that you referred to?
Sure, that's up to the president. The president has to waive the law. The last time it was waived, if I'm not mistaken, was during Katrina, where we allowed foreign ships to come in and help out in regards to aid. Right now, it's up to the president to say, you know what, we're going to allow these foreign ships to come in. We're going to allow them to do the work.
Okay, so we have all this resource available to us to help us with this catastrophe, so why are we not doing this?
Well, you're going to allow me to speculate in regards to this? I would say that the unions have a lot of power here in this country, and they want to have union workers out on those ships, and that's one of the things that's holding this back. And you have to also follow the money in regards to, you know, various different donations in regards to politics. But it is a shame, especially living down here in Southwest Florida, that you've got these very advanced ships, better than anything that we have here in the United States, that we're not using to clean up the oil.
Okay, so some union muscle may be behind this.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Apple. You know, it seems like we got a lot of good companies having some trouble recently. Apple being one of them. You know, they got this iPhone problem with the reception and the bumpers and so forth. What happens when companies make these kind of blunders, and as far as how they handle them?
Well, listen, you know, I got me really aggravated in regards to the Apple thing was the fact that you got Chuck Schumer from New York was sending a letter to Steve Jobs telling him how to run his company. Okay? If you don't like your iPhone, send it back. Okay,
right,
you don't have to buy one.
Right.
I mean, he sold over 3 million of these iPhones, and it seemed to me like some manufactured type of a scandal. You know, I don't own the product or anything like that, so I'm a bit unbiased in regards to this, but I really do have a problem when the government starts getting involved in things like this.
Okay. All right, well, you're going to be here all morning long. We got lots more topics. There's lots of things coming up in the show. If you have questions for Chris, send them our way. It's dailybuzznow.com. You can find his face right there. Click on it, send us a financial question. We're back in a moment talking about an update on Shirley Sherrod in just a moment. Managing your money, that seems like a sport sometimes, right? Trying to get the most out of everything. It's Thursday, so we turn to advice from the watchdog on Wall Street, Mr. Chris Markowski. How you doing, Chris?
Good. Just don't turn it into a casino, whatever you do.
No, right. Not that kind of sport. We want to talk first about debit cards versus credit cards. You know, a lot of people are cutting back on the credit cards. A lot of banks are issuing less credit and fewer credit cards because of all the problems associated. And now some of them are actually offering rewards for using your debit card, which is kind of interesting. Rather
than writing a check, you know, they're still going to try to process some sort of transactional fee in regards to that as well. They want to make some money on that. They're going to be able to cut down on the credit as well because they're not allowed to, because you can only raise interest rates so high. So this is just another angle for them to go about making money. They're offering rewards, but they don't really pay much for that because the companies that they actually do business with, let's say if you get points for Pottery Barn or Home Depot, whatever it may be, that's free advertising for them. They kick in regards to that too.
So that's like an everybody wins type of situation.
Absolutely.
The bank gets customers because you're getting the stuff at Home Depot. Home Depot gets publicity. They get you into the store to buy more stuff, even though they give you a little bit for free.
Banks,
right?
Yeah, banks fight very, very hard over your business. They really do. I mean, study several years ago, they used to spend close to $100 in just direct mailing for every credit card customer that they would go about getting. So yeah, they're going to do that. They're going to do everything they can to retain your business.
Okay. Moving on to Apple and all the problems that they've had. You know, there's some folks that, you know, they look at something like, say, the Apple, the new iPhone, which has the antenna problem, and you need to buy a bumper to fix it and so forth, and they shake their fists in anger, and they say, you know, what am I owed for this? Well, you know, how come Apple isn't, you know, sending me some free fix, and what's your take on this in terms of the culpability that a company has when they put out a product that has problems with it?
Well, I think Steve Jobs is on top of the world right now, so he's a target pretty much. I remember they did the same thing with Microsoft when they went after him in regards to all sorts of antitrust legislation. I find this pretty despicable. Actually, more people returned their iPhone 3s than they did iPhone 4s in regards to this, and I've yet to meet anyone that's actually had any problems with it. So I agree with Steve Jobs. If you don't like the phone, return it. You don't have to buy one. No one's putting a gun to your head.
All right. So you're not in favor then of, you know, the government stepping in and making these companies run their company some other way?
Absolutely not. I mean, what does it concern you? If people don't like the phone, they put out a faulty product, the company's going to have to obviously pay based upon the amount of money they're going to make. What does the government have to do with it?
All right. Well, send your questions for Chris to our website, dailybuzznow.com. We're back talking about whether cheerleading is a sport some more.
Talking about a couple of fun topics this morning, interesting topics, I guess I should say. You know, when you have kids, it seems harder to have the friendships that you maintained before you had kids. So how do you stay best girlfriends when you've got the little ones along with you? We wanted to involve our watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski, this morning to talk about, you know, staying friends once you do have kids. And you have an interesting take on this.
Well, first off, when you have kids and you're married, you don't have girlfriends if you're a guy, okay? That's just,
okay.
It's off limits right there.
Your female friends, your friend girls.
Yeah, we can get into that. But guys are a little bit different. You know this. Guy relationships, a lot less maintenance than women between the relationship. I noticed it with my wife, a lot less. Yeah, I cannot see a friend of mine for 6 months, a year. It's like, hey, what's up, bro? What's going on? And then everything's okay. With women, why didn't she call me? Is she mad at me? Is she upset? I had a whole nonsense.
I know we complicate things, right? We talked about that yesterday, how women complicate things. But you got to admit, it is harder, though, even for guys who, you know, just go up to their friends like, what's up, bro, or whatever. Yeah. It is harder to just pick up, you know, a Sunday afternoon and say, hey, let's go down to the sports bar and watch the game if you have kids. Yeah,
well, that's something that you kind of give up. I believe you give up once you have kids. You don't go down to the sports bar anymore. You're doing more things with your kids, and you tend to make some new friends that your kids' parents, your kids' parents, and you start doing things together to that degree and try to make it more of a family-oriented. But we're lucky we live down here. We go to the beach together and stuff like that, so you can still maintain friendships.
Okay, you're married. Do you keep score with your wife?
Try not to, okay? No one's perfect. I gotta say, sometimes I do, and sometimes my wife does, but that's a no-no, but nobody's perfect.
Okay, well, check out these things from galtime.com. They're talking about keeping score and things you shouldn't do. You should talk about how you feel if you feel like one person is doing more work than the other. You should figure out ways to share that responsibility. Also, when you feel the other person isn't, you know, carrying their weight, talk about it then, because that keeps the frustration from building. So, Chris, if you ever have problems with keeping score, go to galtime.com.
I thought this was a completely different topic about keeping score.
Oh, what score are you talking? Never mind. We're back right after this, telling you how you can win an iPad.